Hello fans, collectors, investors, welcome back to Iconic Baseball. I'm Iconic Al, back at you with another countdown video. Today we are at number 17 on my countdown. This is my list of the 100 greatest and most iconic ball players in baseball history. And this man doesn't really need an introduction, but I'll give it to him anyway. We're talking about a guy who was truly an offensive juggernaut. This man hit 325 for a career with a 428 on base. He compiled 93.1 WAR over his legendary career. He was the second man after Babe Ruth to reach 500 home runs, and he was often referred to as the right-handed Babe Ruth. This guy was insane offensively. He's one of, I think, 10 players to have an OPS over 1. And his OPS plus was a ridiculous 163. The more offensive metrics I rattle off here, the more his nickname makes sense. I'm of course talking about the Beast, the great Jimmie Foxx.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Introducing Jimmie Foxx, home run slugger. Jimmy, will you say a few words about it?
It's a common saying in baseball that every batter loves his base hits, and I'm no exception. I love to take my cuts, but I hate to take that third strike, because when you do, it sure is a long walk back to the bench.
Here is the mighty Jimmie Foxx as he appears at bat while the opposing pitcher shivers and quakes in fear of his home run wallop. Jimmie also stands close to the plate and without a semblance of fear takes a moderate step, concentrates his power into a tremendous short swing, and then it's merely a question of which fence it goes over.
Double X, Jimmie Foxx, was one of the most productive and powerful offensive players in baseball history. He was also one of the great hitters of all time. Over a 20-year career that spanned from 1925 to 1945, with the Philadelphia A's and the Boston Red Sox, he compiled 93.1 WAR, hit 325 for a career with a 428 on base percentage. This was a disciplined hitter who walked more than he struck out. He tallied 534 home runs during a time when that was not common. He was the second player after Babe Ruth to reach 500 home runs, and at the time of his retirement, he was second all time to Babe Ruth. He won 4 home run titles, 2 batting titles, 3 MVP awards. He tallied 1,922 RBI, 2,646 hits. And if you look at some of his deeper metrics, it is eye-popping. He has a lifetime OPS of 1.038, putting him 6th all-time behind Babe Ruth, Ted Williams, Lou Gehrig, Oscar Charleston, and Barry Bonds. Not bad company. He has a ridiculous OPS plus of 163, meaning he was 63% better than the average offensive player of his time. He had 12 consecutive seasons of 30-plus home runs and 13 consecutive seasons of 100-plus RBI. Just striking production. He won the 1933 Triple Crown. He had a 10.4 WAR season back in 1932. And this guy was just a complete monster in the postseason. In 18 World Series games, he hit 344 with 4 home runs and 11 RBI, going 22 for 64, and leading his Philadelphia A's to back-to-back World Series championships in 1929 and 1930. Let's get into the PC here. I have 2 items for Jimmie Foxx. Let's start with the Playing Days card, the 1935 Diamond Stars. It's a really beautiful card, one of my all-time favorites, a card that's been in my collection for a long time, and one that I had graded a couple years ago. And again, very happy to get it too. It has some surface wear, but I just love the pose. It's a very unique pose of Jimmie Foxx because he's shown as a catcher, which he only caught 109 games out of his career compared to 1,918 games at first base. So he's primarily a first baseman, not really known as a catcher, but they caught him on this card, posed as a catcher. but just a beautiful card, released from 1935. Not a super low pop card, but also not super common. I'll put the population on the right here. But again, a beautiful card that shows honest wear. Rounded corners never bothered me. Creases never bothered me as long as the image was strong and the card looks as it should for its age. And certainly this one does. A card that I truly love and cherish in my collection. Of one of the game's true greats. All right. And then lastly, very proud to show my Jimmie Foxx autograph. This is on an index card, probably through the mail back in the early days. A really nice signature in ballpoint for Jimmie Foxx. It designates his AL MVP year of 1932. Someone had taken a typewriter, it looks like, kind of added those distinctions there, and pasted a nice old photo of XX on that card, which I kind of like. It gives it a little more character than just a standard 3x5. And I had that certified by PSA maybe about 5 years ago. Just a blank back. Well, I guess they did add a designation Jimmie Foxx on the back. And I'm not sure what that means, but just an autograph in my collection that I am grateful to own. Not an easy autograph to obtain, not a cheap autograph to obtain. So again, very grateful to have picked this one up before the boom. Probably got this back in about 2018, 2017. And there it is. Thank you so much for joining me on this odyssey, this weekly dive into baseball history through my collection. It has been an immense honor to share it. And I'm already looking forward to next week when I'll unveil number 16 on my countdown. Until then, keep collecting and stay iconic.